Hey everybody, this is Jonathan Cox with Aqua Vita, and I've got another good word for you today. So today I'm going to talk about a book that we just finished at Aqua Vita. We have a tradition on Wednesdays called Wisdom Wednesday, and in that we do a variety of different things, but occasionally we'll do a several-week curriculum, and over the past 8 weeks we did this one. It's called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And Darren is the pupil of another mentor that is near and dear to me, Jim Rohn. And the reason that I find this book to be so powerful is every time that I've gone through this curriculum, I just feel like I have a better understanding of what I want out of life and where I'm currently going in my life and what adjustments I should be making in order to get where I want to go. So I'm just going to walk you through some of the chapters in this and give you a brief overview. I highly encourage you to pick this up. It's really inexpensive. You can probably pick up a copy for around $10 in paperback. They also have an audiobook with it, and it comes with some really cool worksheets that you can fill out as part of the process. And if you're in a relationship, or you're on a team, or you have an accountability partner in life, I would suggest that you go through this with them and fill out the worksheets together and then share what you've learned throughout that process. That's what we did at Aqua Vita. Okay, so chapter 1 in this basically just explains what the book is about. It's called The Compound Effect in Action. Okay, so the compound effect, the concept behind that is every action that we take every day has an effect over the course of our life. So if you've ever heard the story of the compounding penny, basically the premise of that is that if you offer someone $3 million immediately, or as an alternative, they can take a penny that doubles every day for 30 days. Which one would you take? And it's really kind of an interesting exercise for those who haven't encountered the compound effect yet in their life or had it explained to them. So the idea is you go 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days into this process, even 20 days, and it really doesn't look that impressive, the compounding effect of the penny. But by the time you're on like day 25, day 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, eventually I think you get up to something like $6 million, or something ridiculous. It's a much higher amount than you would have received if you'd taken the $3 million. So as an example, what you eat, the junk food that you may eat, what you put into your mind, the media that you consume, the shows that you watch, the books that you read, all of those have this little micro effect on your life on a daily basis. But over time, if you project that over a 1, 2, 3, 10, 20, 40-year period, it has a significant effect. The compound effect is working in everyone's life, and it's either working in a positive exponential direction or in a negative exponential direction. But there's no such thing as an individual that does not have the compound effect working in their life. Everyone experiences it, and you're either experiencing it in a positive compounding way or a negative compounding way. Okay, so that's what chapter 1 is. So chapter 2 is choices. And so it basically has you analyze your daily behaviors and write up a day in your life and a week and a month and so on, and identify common things that you do every day. So one of the biggest problems is that, and I'm so guilty of this, but you get to a point where you start sleepwalking through life. You stop paying attention to what you're doing, and things just become habit. And when they become habit, we don't even realize a lot of the times what those habits are doing to us. So that extra 125 to 250 calories a day compounded over a 3-year period of time may mean that you gain 30 pounds. Whereas someone that commits to tracking their nutrition or something similar to that, maybe they just drop 125 calories a day. So that may just mean they don't put dressing or mayonnaise on something. That's it. But that change over time means that individual loses 30 pounds over the same period of time. So fast forward 3 years, one individual's gained 33 pounds, one individual has lost 33 pounds. The difference between those two individuals is now 66 pounds as a result of a 125-day surplus or deficit. Other examples of that may be, let's say you've had a stressful day and you just need to detach from the day-to-day grind. And so at the end of the day, you do something to kind of uncouple from the mundanity of something that you're going through or the stress of something that you're going through. And the result of that is that before you know it, you find you've spent 2, 3, 4 hours Netflixing and chilling. And if you take that and multiply that 4 hours times 7, that's 28 hours per week, and then multiply that over the year, that's a lot of time spent watching Netflix. What are some of the goals that you have in life? For example, if you want to learn another language, what if you took that same number of hours, or even half that number of hours, and applied it towards learning that language? You could do so much more with your time. So that's what chapter 2 is. It's about analyzing the choices that we make and being very intentional about making the right choices. So chapter 3 is habits. And habits goes into, he actually starts with a really cool story. So in the story, he says there's an older guy walking a younger guy through the woods, and he's trying to teach him the principle of habits. So first they come across a little sapling, and he's like, "Can you pull that sapling up?" And the young man takes that sapling and he just plucks it out of the ground. It's super easy to do. So they keep walking, and the next thing they have a one that's about waist high. So he says, "Can you pull that one up?" He reaches over, he pulls on it, and he takes a little bit of effort, but he finally pulls it up, and it pulls up a fairly good sized chunk of earth with it. So next they come upon one that's about his size. Well, this one, he has about a minute of good work, like pulling on that thing, before it pulls the fairly large chunk of earth up from around it, and it kind of destroys an area around it. It took a lot of effort to get that up. And finally, they keep walking, and there's a mighty oak. And the oak tree is, 20, 30 feet tall, and he says, "Pull that one up." And the young man realizes he can't pull that up. And the older guy goes, "That is habit, positive or negative. A habit is easy to remove when it's young and fresh, but when it's a mighty oak, it takes a lot of effort. And in the process of removing that, it destroys a lot of things around it." So he teaches a little bit of the science of being aware of the good and the bad habits, how much effort it takes to create either one, and gives you some worksheets that help you to set a rhythm for your week, that helps you to solidify some good daily habits and then kind of check them off consistently over time. Okay, so chapter 4 is about momentum. And this is the really exciting part for me, because I'm at a stage in my life where I'm really starting to see that momentum happen. So if you can imagine in your mind a curve, a compounding curve. So like at the beginning, this is an exponential growth curve. At the beginning, it looks more or less flat. And then over time, you'll see it gradually step up and step up and step up. And then eventually, it looks like it just kind of skyrockets. Okay, so the compound effect is like that. It's like that compounding penny. It's around day 22 to 25 that you really see that start to skyrocket. Good habits and disciplines over time, as you do them consistently over time, and this is relationships, this is saving and investing, this is career growth, personal growth, fitness, any of those habits, none of them, if you do them once, will you see like a dramatic change in a short period of time. If you were to eat fast food for 10 years every day, and then you stop doing it for one day, you're not going to notice a huge change in your physique over time. Likewise, if you start working out and you work out one day, you're not going to see a huge difference over time. But if you do that consistently for 3 years, you're going to see major differences in your health and your strength. The same is true of your relationships. If you spend more time in your relationships, and previously you've been spending none, over time you'll see your relationships get richer and deeper. The same is true of your mind, all of that good stuff. So he talks about the power of momentum. And the interesting thing about momentum is that the faster an object is going, the harder it is to disrupt that. So if you imagine a boulder that's rolling, okay, so if that boulder is just kind of creeping along, it doesn't take much to slow that thing down again. I mean, the second you let go of it, it kind of rolls to a stop again. But if you've got that thing really going, and it's going 10 or 15 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour, if you let go, that thing will continue to roll even after you've stopped putting energy into it. And it's got force behind it now. That is the really neat thing about momentum. Momentum is when amazing things start happening in your life, and it just seems like they're happening overnight, but it's actually taken you a lot of time and effort to get there. Okay, so chapter 5 is influences, and this one is absolutely critical. Okay, so influences has to do not only with the things that we consume, as we talked about previously, the shows you watch, the books you read, the food you eat, but it has to do with your relationships too. So I'm sure, if you take a second and think, you can think about friends and family members who, when you're with them, it really lifts your spirit, it enriches your mind, it fills your heart. And I'm sure you can also think about acquaintances or people in your life that have had a destructive influence on you, or if you're around them for too long, maybe you start to notice that your energy drops, you become cynical or depressed. Well, those things, a good analogy that I've heard is, if you're walking along and somebody's just kind of gently bumping their elbow into you over time, and you're trying to walk in a straight line, at first it may seem like that influence is not having a significant effect on you, but over time, it gets you really off course. And so in the chapter on influences, he talks about several kinds of associations. So there's those that we want to expand association with, and that might be mentors or friends and family members that really lift us up, that drive us, that inspire us, that encourage us. And those might be people that you want to put under an expanded influences category. That means you want to find more time to spend with that person. Then you might have people that you want to limit your association with. So this might be, for example, you might have like a neighbor or a friend or something like that. You can spend 5 minutes with them and have a great small talk conversation, but not 5 hours. 5 hours is just too long. Things turn a little bit awkward. Maybe your personalities start to clash when you get past that superficial conversation level. And then there are some people that you can spend 5 hours with, maybe a workout buddy at the gym, or somebody that you can go and have coffee with or whatever, but you couldn't go on an extended vacation with them, right? So there's different levels of association. That may be limited association. And then there may be people in your life that are toxic to you. And those people you might need to disassociate with. So that doesn't mean be mean to them or be rude to them, unless they just won't go away. Maybe something drastic is required, but typically that might just be somebody that, they call, they want to hang out, and you say, hey, I'm busy, I'm sorry, I don't have time, hope you're well, glad to hear from you, but I'm just so busy right now, I just don't have time. Okay, so that's the chapter on influences. And lastly, it's acceleration. So acceleration is, once you've done the work of all of this stuff, you will start to feel the momentum, you'll see progress in your life happening. And the effect of that is it's so exciting and so motivating to see all of your hard work starting to pay off that you just begin to dump more energy onto those things. And it's like putting fuel onto a already raging fire, and it just gets hotter and hotter, and that's your passion for your goals and your life and your family and your finances and your mental growth and all that good stuff. And by the time that you're in acceleration, what you want to start looking at is, what are some things that you can do to just do extra, go above and beyond, accelerate the things that you're doing even more. So for example, Arnold Schwarzenegger was known for developing a system called the cheat rep system. So he was a stickler for good form in exercise. And what he would do is he would do the maximum number of reps that he could do with good form, and then he would try and do 3 to 5 additional reps, just kind of cheating a little bit. So maybe changing his wrist position, maybe getting some other muscles involved, just to get a few extra reps in. And in his mind, if he was already competing against world-class athletes, any difference, a slight edge over those people, could make all of the difference. Okay, so that is The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Again, this is something that I've gone through like 3 times. The first time that I did it, I had a lot of cleanup that I needed to do in my life. Like, I'd gotten off course pretty significantly. Second time, I got a little bit tighter. Third time, I feel like I have really a much deeper understanding of it. So I would encourage for you to purchase this, start in on the process, doesn't matter where you are in life. It's worth putting the compound effect into action. Thank you all for tuning in again. Again, you can subscribe to our channel by clicking on the subscribe button or following us. And I just look forward to hearing from you all. If you do get into the compound effect, I'd love for you to send us a direct message or email us or comment in the comments below. And just let me know how things are going. I'd love to hear what the results of your studies may be. So have a good week, guys, and we'll see you soon.